All right, if we're good, the doors are closed, and I think we have tried to fill each table as well as we can. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've also seen the poll earlier. I hope that you have participated. I think that contributes to the data that we're collecting today. So, ahoy, crew! Well done. We've made it to this time of the day, 3:36, the final lap. We're in session 3. So welcome to session 3 of the Singapore Safety at Sea Conference 2024. I'm just really curious, do we have people that just came into this session? Just a little show of hands. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. So the rest of you were here since like before, since the morning. Wow, kudos to you. You must really have a lot that you're getting from here, or you're really enjoying our company and learning things. Anyway, my name is Carissa Seat. It is a pleasure to be your MC, and I would like to welcome all of you who have just joined us and those of you who have been with us. Now, before we start, right, I know we're excited to talk, but please allow me to do a quick safety briefing, right, in view of the fact that we value safety. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard this before, but let's pay attention. In the unlikely event of a fire or emergency, what do? Exits. Exits are right behind us, all the way to the back of the room. We're going to move in an orderly and calm manner. And where are we going? Straight down to your... Just checking. Left or right? Very good. We're going to the left. Awesome. That is where our assembly ground is, and this is called the Tangling Walkway. So just so you know, it's not just any walkway, it's Tangling Walkway. So thank you very much. I hope that at any point we will be taking care of each other, whether an emergency or not. And this is the flavor of the session. We're taking care of people's safety and well-being. Now, this brings me to the end of the safety briefing. Thank you for your attention. Okay, so that's it. What is the session's name called? All hands on deck for our people's safety and well-being. So I think earlier we heard that as much as there's a lot to catch up in terms of alternative fuels, technology, and all of that, but at the heart of it, it is about people. It should be people designed and people led. So this is what the panel is about. We want to hear from people like you. Now, today we are going to be commencing with a panel first, and after which we're going to have a roundtable, I believe, a roundtable session. This is why we need you to be in particular numbers at each table. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to jump in to convene this session. I'm going to invite my moderator, Mr. Ishak Ismail, Chairman of the National Maritime Safety at Sea Council, to join me on stage. Please welcome him. We will have our panelists. We're going to welcome Captain Chong Jia Chuan, the Senior Deputy Director for Maritime Safety and Operations and Port Master from MPA. Captain Chong, welcome, welcome. Let's welcome Mr. Gui Guo Tuan, the Assistant General Secretary for Singapore Maritime Officers Union. Where are you? Mr. Gui, welcome. Next up is Mr. Kelvin Kang. Let's give it up, Mr. Kelvin Kang, the General Manager for Stellar Ship Management Services Private Limited, Global Energy Group, and not forgetting Dr. Kenneth Loh. Thank you for your patience, Dr. Kenneth Loh, Chairman of the Marine Industries Committee at the Workplace Safety and Health Council. Okay, thank you. Our panelists are here. Welcome, gentlemen. It's going to be a fun session. So what we're going to do is, likewise, I would like to encourage you to participate through questions. Scan the QR code. You can see the QR code on the side. If it's too tiny, you can also scan the one that's behind your name badge. Very good. I see some of you already know the protocol. Just log in, Safety at Sea as the password. You can put in your questions, and that will make the session a lot more interactive and relevant. So with that, I'm going to hand the time to you, Mr. Ismail. All yours.
Thank you, Carissa. And good afternoon to everybody. Welcome back. Right, this is it, right? She said, this is it. And we say, all hands on deck. And then I, myself, Terence, all hands on deck, organize you into tables for conversations later. So yeah, whatever it takes, we'll get our all hands on deck. We had a morning and then the last session really thinking about what's ahead. And we need to think about what's ahead for safety. We have to. We can't be a boiled frog, a parable of the boiled frog where we don't know what's happening ahead and we're not getting ourselves ready. But this is it. This afternoon, we're going to go to what matters, the core of it, which is our people, right? All hands deck about our people. We left it at the last because, and we also want to organize you into groups because it's not only the panel that we're going to hear, we're going to have a conversation here. Later you'll find out we'll have conversations there with you. But let's focus on the conversations here. Is there a statement, and I heard this, I was going around, and then I asked, so are seafarers forgotten? Are seafarers forgotten? It was a question I posed to people on the ground, on the table. Well, the answer is no, but the mind space where the people sit is not there in the front. It's like, I got a lot of things to do, let's get it going, but maybe the people is not really at the front of our mind space. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. And let's see what happens when we have this conversation. As we go down the line, we have a poll, we have a panel. If you look at the panel, quite well represented, right? We got regulation. Kong is here, Kong, huh? We got MPA here, regulation, systems. We got union, which is really on the ground where the people are. We've got person who actually has to deal with their team, their actual crew and the seafarers, really the nuts and bolts. And of course, maybe at the macro level, but yet at the systems level, we have WSH. I think it's a good panel. Without saying too much, let me just start by asking each one of them to say a few things as what we know a panel is, and then we'll see your questions and we'll see what the rest of the afternoon is like.
Thanks, Mr. Ishak. Good afternoon to all. I'm Captain Chong, Portmaster. So basically, I'm overseeing three operational departments: the vessel traffic management, or I think most of the seafarer here know Singapore VTIS, and also the marine environment and safety, pilotage, and the one that look after the search and rescue. So basically, these three operation department is the largest departments where people also occupied by the most staff. So I think the peoples are very close to me. So this is a very, very close subject that I would like to share more of my experience. And also that been to sea about 15 years ago. Again, it's like very close to me that safety is always my concerns. How to ensure that those seafarers who follow me, join ship together, who are already on board, they are able to safely go home, right? So this is very, very critical issues that always in my mind, and not forgetting people. So as Mr. Ishak mentioned, Akong, so Akong cannot function without people, right? So basically, that is why we are here. Very important is to always pull the subjects or any of the issues or discussions, operation, down to the center of people. Without the people, I don't think we can run any of the things. Today, this event are setting up with the people-centric mind by the organizer, right? So that is why that is the support or the soul of every events, every operations, or every policy that we put in place. So roughly, I would like to just cover a bit. Safety is not just, yes, I heard a lot of people mention safety out at sea. Even the cadet also mentioned about safety, but I don't think he understands it very clearly. So I'm looking at a very broadly. Safety is a multifaceted issue where we have to address it in a holistic manner. Broadly, I'm looking at the system design on issues, procedures, and trainings. So it is not which one is more important, they're all equally important. Well, I'm quite fortunate to cover this topic because the earlier speakers or panelists already covered very detailed. This morning, also got a few Akong sit here this morning, mentioned a lot about how we carry out all our operations and how the detailed plannings all are carried out. So holistically, we're looking at that. I would just like to refer back to this morning and earlier discussions on the methanol bunkering, how MPA carefully look into the operations in a lot of details. I feel bad for some of the stakeholders really strained by MPA too much question that we ask them. Why not doing this? Why doing that? Have you done that? Have you think about that? So it's about the safety of the crew when they are engaged in the operations. So when we look at that earlier on, I would like to refer to the discussions that, for example, issues where people mentions about we have hazard workshops, and we are looking at how the whole systems need to be designed at a human-centric level, not about I come out with a system and then I start teaching people. I think that this is quite common that many of us also familiar the word human errors, right? These two words. A lot of things happens, we like to blame it human error. So how much have we delved deeper into, is there a system design issue? I remember when I was sailing, reach the airport, join ships, within 6 hours, I need to come out the passage plan and sail the ship out. I may not be familiar with this system, right? I think many of the seafarers also share this experience. Where is the button of this radar? Where is the exit system? How to operate it? If the quickest possible manner I can learn all these things, I can understand how they operate, then I think that possibility of human error very likely eliminate or even reduce to the minimum level, so that I'm competent, I focus on doing the job rather than trying to learn. So when we design the system, we need to look into this detail, put human or the operator, the ship's crew at the center, and understand how we want to design it to improve it. During the workshops, the hazard workshops, when we run through the procedure with the methanol bunkering teams, we can even face problem where the size of the flange is different. How are we going to, line up the bunkering lines from one point to the other point? And we also face a lot of other issues that the crew face difficulty. So I think overall, first, before we embark on any of these issues, to ensure the safety of the people, look carefully at system design. So there is a human-machine interface part that we need to carefully look into that. If we can greatly reduce using machines to do as much, then we're minimizing the possibility of human error. And this is a very careful way. We don't put a machine-human interface. It's human-machines. So I would say this is very important and very good, because MPAC, this thing is very important. We have been leading a lot of projects, including with research institutions, R&D, to push more automations out in the markets to help ship personnel, or even very close to me, the VTIS, how we have over the years adopted a lot of automations to help operator, the VTS operator, to work, to perform, rather than to find where is the button, how to select the targets, right? So these automations will help them to think faster. They have more time to, work on it, focus on the competency. So same on the seaward side, on the ships, the design of system has to be carefully looking at it. The machineries, this is I would say that is the core. And the procedure comes second. With the machinery, do we have a procedure for them to follow? They are not PhD who are going there, already know how to think or analyze or have time to discuss with the other officer how to use the system. So procedure has to be very clearly, as what the earlier discussion mentions, that the methanol bunkering, or even when we're looking forward, we always run through all these procedures with stakeholders and make sure that the procedures are robust, people are familiar, it is a second of nature, or in short, we say they close their eye, they know how to work. And with the system design and the procedure in place, robust, we will find minimum gap that require further training already, right? So if we're lacking of all these system design procedures, a lot of training we have to put in place because there are too many gaps, too many things that the machine cannot do, too many unknown and gray area in the procedure. How are we going to train these people? Are we going to leave it a lot to human error and accidents to happen? So we have to safeguard their safety. So trainings, that's why, which I also cover here, that for MPA, we working very closely. I think earlier speakers, Captain Saleh mentions about how the Singapore Poly come out with all these training requirements to ensure that staff are trained. And I've seen a lot of progress in this area. We are also working with other training institutions to come out how to operate more electrical parts, machineries for the hovercraft. I heard about the questions about how are we prepared the hovercraft for new fuel, right? So I think these are the areas that we are working very closely. So in a nutshell, basically for the, again, ACON, right, the MPA, we need to create that atmosphere, the whole environment that is conducive for people to carry out all this work, which take care the safety of the seafarer. So, and a lot of other works that we are ongoing. How,
too long.
Yeah, and also the technical standards that we are working with SS, the LNG bunkering standards. And I also heard we actually also working already with other ports and countries in the world. We bring up this to IMO standard so that we can have a common understanding. So I think this is summarize our approach, that it has to be balanced. It's a multifaceted thing that we have to approach it carefully to ensure that every area is taken care of for the safety of the crew on board ships. Thanks.
Thank you. And there are already reactions from what you just introduced to some conversations happening in the Q&A. Keep that coming, right, with the Q&A. And over to you, Mr. Gui.
All right, I'll keep it within 5 minutes then. So basically, I'm Gui from SMOU. It's a real pleasure to speak on a topic that is really, really close to the union heart, well-being and safety. So you can't go wrong from a union perspective that these are the two things that we really focus on. There's a poll that's running, but let's say if what I share here kind of agree with the poll, in my opinion, there seems to be a slight decline in terms of the respect for seafarers. One example that I'd like to give is airline pilot. The airline pilot received quite a lot of recognition for bringing a passenger from point A to point B, but not forgetting our captains on ships and their crew. They move the world. No shipping, no shopping. As simple as that. But yet, the recognition that they get is very, very different from an airline pilot. Next, it then brings me to another issue. One of the hidden burden of a seafarer. I think most of you will agree with me that there is a huge mental health toll that the seafarers has to work on because of administration work on board the ship. Yes, I do agree. Safety level is something that we need to work on. Protocol, yes, that's something that our seafarers has to do it. But as what Captain Chong shared, is there a better way of doing it? There is one example that we spoke about, is about safety manual. Every time when there is an incident, something is added into the safety manual. And one of the captain that I had a word with actually read through the safety manual and it's over 1 million word long. There is a lot of overlapping. And I think those that join in or those that hear the rally from PM Lawrence Wong, he also says the same thing. Over the years, a lot of regulation has been added in, but it is high time among all of us here to say that, can we relook at that, streamline it, get AI involved, get the machine involved to help our seafarers. If not, by and by, our seafarers will do nothing but to make sure that they pass the audit. The real work, is it done or not? That is another question altogether. Next, I also want to share a good news. We talk about welfare and we talk about wellness, but what is the main ingredient out of all this? The seafarers itself, right? So as a Singapore union, we realized that there is a decline in the number of Singaporean seafarers. So I'm happy to share that SMOU, together with E2I and MPA, with our training service provider WMI, have relaunched our TMTA, Tripartite Maritime Training Award, targeting mid-careerists. And I hope this will run parallel or complement SMA because they take in the O-level, we take in the mid-careerists. Hopefully with this, we can push the number up. And I understand from SMA, the recent class, I think running at about 15 or 16. I think all of us here need to do our part, spread the good words about shipping and get more people involved. If not, we are kind of like a dying breed. So finally, as a union, we are committed to spreading the ethos of doing right by our members. We have to realize that welfare and all this is a long journey. It's not a sprint, but I do love the team today. All hands on deck. So doing welfare is not about relying just on our shipping company or the union, but it's everybody in this room. We need to do our part to ensure that the seafarers gets his recognition, gets his welfare that they deserve. So, like I say again, really wish for everybody here to work together, and then we push the seafarers forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Calvin, about your people, say more.
Yeah, good afternoon. Okay, just a brief introduction. My name is Kevin Kang from Stella Ship Management, representing Global Energy Group. There are three segments in our business. The first one is marine fuel trading and supply. The second one is marine logistics services. The third one is ship management, which is what I'm doing. Now, just to share a little bit, with regards to the last two methanol bunkering operations in Singapore happening in May, we were the one actually did the supply. But today, I'm not going to share in details how to safely doing methanol operations. More, I want to share with us is about the crew safety and well-being, with our people. So we do feel like the crew, they know that by knowing methanol's property, it is toxic, flammable. So there are fears and reluctance into these operations. Actually, we noticed this since we confirmed our new building. That was like 2 years ago. In fact, how do we educate our crew to overcome this kind of fears and reluctance into this? It's through the training, right? This training does not just start right before we commence the project. In fact, we have started almost 2 years ago, right? We started with our in-house training, our crew seminars. We did a briefing. So, crew has a general understanding of the methanol, how to deal with it as a cargo operations, the safety measures if there's a spill or fire, basic things. Then when it comes to these methanol projects, I think there was back to March this year, we approached to MPA seeking their advice and approval, all those things. And then we, together with MPA, I think this morning someone mentioned that there were 28 stakeholders involved with the project. Right, we've been through a series of hands-on workshop. There were really a lot of questions asked, and we've been through we have done the feasibility studies throughout. We have done RA risk assessment, the interface connections, all those details. Finally, we came up with operation procedures that everybody look at it. Okay, fine. This is good. Okay, to go ahead. Finally, MPA asked us, okay, to prepare a PPT to brief through everybody, so that we all are on the same page that this is what we're going to do. Throughout the PPT working through process, then we realized that yes, okay, the plan looks very good, but we still need people. We need our crew, the frontiers who really on the ship, to carry out. So a manual developed in a very comfortable aircon room, even not automatically implemented on the ship, where the crew have to be, under such a kind of environment to carry out the job. So we look at that very seriously. So we call our crew to our office. We have done face-to-face training, about the project in details. Then the crew also been to Singapore Poly. They have learned the methanol, handling methanol as fuel, the other firefighting trainings as well, right? And finally, we thought that even like that, there's no assurance or guarantee that they can execute the project safely. So then, in fact, our team, we went on board. We have done physical, like a mock operations. So the crew really practice on how to operate the equipments, how to make connections, so on and so forth. So on the day of the project, MP colleague also went on the ship, so we all witnessed and supervised the crew. Finally, they have carried out the task smoothly and safely. I think everybody happy about it. And we also had some observations from our operations and observations about the receiving vessel, which if anyone are interested, they can approach us. We can share our experience, right? To us, as local bunker operators, we would like to share this knowledge and experience in the industry. I think we work together, we can make Singapore be more confident and give a market confident that, okay, we are ready to do methanol bunkering in Singapore. Right, so that's what I want to share here.
Thank you, Kelvin. So now you hear it, right? What we talked about in the morning. Thank you, Kelvin. Yeah, please give him a round of applause. Sorry. You hear the reality of the connection of what we were talking about in the morning to how the people are, really what it means for them receiving it, doing it beyond the conference room, hit it on the ground. And in each company, you have systems like that. You think about what is that system in place? And from the macro level, is BeSafe a system in place? Kenneth, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Ishak, for having me here. So once again, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for staying back and make this panel discussion successful. So my sharing, maybe we can put on the slide. So I'm going to take you through just 2 slides. So WSH, our mandate is to really help the marine industry. So where I'm chairing, to really identify and also champion implementations of WSH initiatives that will save life. We always say that we are in the business of saving lives, and this is where I think is all hands on deck as per the team today. And I'm so glad that we always say that people is in the center of everything we do, because I have personally lost colleagues, when I was back in the marine industry, and I can tell you that when you lost a colleague, you remember there are many things that we can do in the system approach to help save lives. Next slides, please. So I'm going to just share with you some of the initiatives that we are currently, just some key initiatives that the WSH MI committee is focusing on. Maybe we can go to the next slide. While the transition is taking place, just to give you an overview. So the MI committee actually take a very systemic approach. The reason is because we need to ensure that we are properly represented. So just to give you an idea who are represented in the Marine Industry Committee, we have representatives from the industry, so that means from the shipyards and the marine engineering company. We have representatives from the authority, so MPA in fact sits on the committee with us. We have professional body, we have academia, we have trade association, we have union, very, very important. And you can see that this is actually to make sure that the voices of our workers, our employees are heard. I think this is actually very important. And how do we go about really implementing sustainable WSH initiative is none other than, I think in the very first point you can see, building a very strong WSH culture. And this, we actually take it in stride. So we don't just, top down. In fact, we visited the shipyards, the major shipyards. You can see that Citrum, ST Engineering, Pax Ocean. So when we meet them, I just want to assure you that the management really take this WSH very seriously. Why I say that is because the entire senior management were there with us, and they take us through their system management for safety and well-being. And over the 2-3 hours that they spend with us, they show us with great confidence, what are the management attention they are giving to their operation. And coincidentally, all 3 companies say that, the license to operate is safety. The license to operate. That means if you don't have safety, actually we don't have the license to operate. And they also all embrace something that I thought is very amazing. They empowered the worker on the lowest level. So any of the worker can actually highlight an unsafe act and stop work. So I think we have come to a stage whereby I think the workers are put into a safe space. Now they are able to reflect and also highlight unsafe act. So we will continue to engage and build upon this strong culture of safety. The second area is actually where Mr. Ishak mentioned. We really want to strengthen this ownership as well, because we can say these are the regulation, these are the policy from the government, but at the end of the day, the ownership has to go back to the respective company. And just to share with you, in fact, there's a poll that we're going to let Mr. Ishak share later on. So a lot of the company has already signed on with the Be Safe. And right now, we are promoting Be Safe to the Pressure Craft Safety Working Group, and also to reach out further to the supply boat operators and the Clifford Pier Motor Group Association. And finally, it is very important to also get down to the implementable. So in this case, we look at setting guidelines to ensure the safety of worker by ensuring that we put in place standards, the right standards for the selection of life jacket for different work environment. And I can tell you honestly, there are so many different types of life jacket. There are so many types. And I think with the concerted effort by the various committee, we have actually worked very closely with, in fact, with MPA's guidance as well, to look at the ISO 12402 standards. So the next slide, just very quickly to let you know that the consultation, as highlighted by MOS this morning, has started today. So very auspicious day to start today. And it will continue until the 15th of September. So there's a QR code there that is live. So if you would like to give your feedback, please do take out your handphone right now and scan. I'll give you 5 seconds. Yeah, I think it should be enough, 5 seconds. Everybody take out the phone very fast nowadays. Yeah, okay. So with this, I would just like to summarize by saying that, I think safety is the responsibility of every one of us. And I think always remember that, the safety of our worker and ourselves actually is interdependent. And therefore, a system approach is important. Yeah, back to you, Mr. Ishak.
Thank you, Kenneth. Life jackets, when I first came on board as council chair in 2020, was the first thing I understood that the council is looking into it. It's been 4 years, and I am really looking forward to where we hit to this. Such a very basic element, but we got to get it right. I think let that conversation happen. But let's bring it back here. There was a poll that we reached out earlier, just at the point you came back for tea break, and that topic was respect. Respect for our seafarers. Where is that level? And has that level increased, diminished? Because if that base level of respect is not there or needs to be improved, that then has a connection to well-being. Let's take a look at the poll, and that's where we are. Well, the good news is a little bit more on the right side from this ground, and there are quite significant from the left, which is slightly diminished. I'm going to open to the panel, and firstly to Union, Ms. Toh Kwan. From your view, you mentioned that it could be slightly diminished. Perhaps perception here and what you understand to be the ground could differ. And if indeed it's diminished, what do you need to do to bring that respect? And how important is that to safety and well-being? And I'm going to ask Kelvin and then our Akong to say a few things on that after he said. We'll hold Kenneth for a while.
All right. Firstly, I'm happy with the result, but I'm relatively surprised. Maybe mainly due to we are the converted here. Let's see if we reach further out with the non-converted, we see where it goes. But notwithstanding that, one of the main reasons why I say is that the respect is important, and what Chair has shared, that if you do have low respect for the particular occupation, automatically your wellness and all this will also drop. One very simple example that I like to use, HDB, our public housing in Singapore, right? Much earlier on, as a young Singaporean seafarer, starting out as a third officer, he goes to HDB, apply for a loan. Very sadly, the HDB will treat them as part-timer because of the contract they're on. They are not like what the usual is, which is you actually have 1 year of salary, but because how ships operate, most of our seafarers are on 6 months, 8 months contract. And sadly, HDB at that time view them as part-timer. So when they are viewed as part-timer, the formula to calculate the loan drops a lot. So when you talk about respect for seafarers, if a third officer coming out cannot even purchase a basic needs, a roof over his head, how do you gain that respect, right? But I'm very happy to share that together with MPA, we sat down, we had a long meeting with HDB. Finally, they realized that, all right, shipping is as such. The potential for him to get a lot more or a lot higher salary is there. So we have managed to push it through. So as long now, the applicants put in with a COC3, HDB will view it as a continuous employment and will base on that to calculate this loan. So as simple as a roof over his head is somewhat that we need to fight for our seafarers. So coming back to respect, I think the basic is that if a seafarer is not respected, I'll use a captain for example. 20 years back, a captain is really the gung-ho, the man on the ship. Today, very sad. Even when the port state inspector comes on board the ship, he goes a little bit timid. If there's anything wrong with the ship, what he does? He sends it off to his superintendent, right? So, yes, it's a two-way traffic. If we really want to get the respect back for our seafarers, I do think that everybody needs to change a little bit on how we look into shipping, how we deal with our people on board the ship. Because right now, a few of the captains or a few of the seafarers that I spoke to is that every time when there's a problem, and if the seafarers did not follow whatever the office has said, they get a full rap of it. So I don't think that is fair to a certain extent. So that's why, in my opinion, and the conversation I had with a few seafarers, it has diminished. But I'm happy to say that the crowd here seems to have believed otherwise. So maybe we can continue to work on the positive side and then let our seafarers gain their respect back. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything to add on, Kelvin, about respect and how do we bring that to our people?
Yes, I agree with what Gui has said. The respect to our crew and recognition from the industry of our crew. So to me, what I feel like, other than that, we need to look at the crew confidence today. I think we all, I think many of us in the past, just count, 3-5 years back, from now to, this, we all have attended a lot of seminars, workshops. We talk about more from shore management point of view, right? We upgrade ourselves with technologies or this requirement, that requirements, regulatory requirements, new developments, marketing shares, alternative fuel, everything, right? This is where we get our knowledge. We upgrade ourselves. But look at our crew, from where they can systematically get this kind of knowledge, right? Is, perhaps some of the company may conduct the crew seminars. I don't know how much they brief, in this kind of topics, where the crew really have good understanding and they can build up the confidence, right? So, and also just now we also discussed that with today's communication system, the crew easily to feedback to office what the problem they have, and rather than step up, making some decision, they just throw it back to the office, right? And there are some times that yes, maybe the crew get pressured from the management or commercial, stress here and there. So leading them to, don't dare to make decision, not very confident. When they face to certain inspection, when the confidence level is not there, then perhaps, the inspectors may suspect that, these guys, not knowing the job, and start looking for more things and checking their works on the ship. So that's the challenge that we can see. With regards to the crew, how do we improve crew from this aspect, or how do we attract good or qualified crew and retain them within the company? This is something that we need to look at. Is the recognition of the crew, recognition of their performance, recognition of their long service. This is what's happening in our company, where we can see there are few crew. They have been working with us from the inception of the company, like 32 years ago. And their children, their son has still working on, they work on our ship as officers. So this is something that perhaps we have to look at it, how from shore management, working with the crew, have this kind of bonding relationship, and then going on. Yeah, this is what I want to share.
Thank you. Before I pass to Captain Chong, I'm going to add a layer for you. There's a question, and this layer is respect. And the question is kind of related. I want to relate it to this question. What have we learned from the last pandemic, right? And in relation to respect, and how does that matter as we go forward? Perhaps another crisis as we move forward, safety and well-being of our people.
Well, I think we don't want to wait for another crisis. Immediately, we have to address this issue. My thought is that the respect probably is that seafaring is not a very common job that anyone, walking out at the streets understand what a seafarer does outside. So if we ask in the shipping companies at different departments, how many of them also understand the seafarer out at sea, where they're dealing with, be it the cargo department, the chartering department, very likely these clerks don't understand. They just write an email to the master without knowing the problem that the master has been facing out at sea. He has been probably stuck at sea for a couple of months, and so that lack of that awareness or the understanding of these professions, I believe it is the key of the things that people, lost their understanding, and the way how they interact with seafarer becoming less sensitive. I guess that is why that even some of the post-state control in some country, they themselves don't understand what the master been through. And, they're coming up, they just want to show power. You respect me first, not I respect you. So I think this is some of the mindset change that that the global has to address. So, come back to your questions again.
So, respect, pandemic, what have we learned, and how do we move forward?
Yeah, so I think moving forwards, we need to carry out more reach out to understand these seafaring jobs, which is also that some of the seafaring job, it has been rather locked in a very traditional manner. How are we going to reinvent some of the jobs? We know that technology automation is all available now. We even heard about autonomous ships that eventually part of the control can be bringing back to shore here to manage. Of course, not fully. We are not ready for that. So some of these operations, we need to redesign it, and how we can help the seafarer to able to perform, to see this profession in a different manner, in a more productive manner, and do we still need them to stuck out at sea for so long? So this is something that the whole community need to look at it, change, and I also want to raise the issue that when we come out regulations, put that human at the center again. I have seen how some regulations are designed without the human aspect. You know, they design a regulations to treat anyone walking on the streets as the same as the seafarer. You know, doesn't allow them to come shore leave. You know, doesn't allow them to carry out certain come to shore. You know, just to enjoy a little bit of time. So this is something that, as the whole community, I think it's a shift in our mindset. Thanks.
I like that. You know, when we're thinking of putting so many things in place during pandemic, right? But forget the human that's affected by it. Their human, their families, and it's just their well-being. And I think moving forward, that when you put policies, you put thinking ahead, put that human element in the loop when creating regulations, rules, and policies. That's the question that's the most question. Can you show the one that's got the most vote? And I think, Kenneth, you can jump in this. Well, it's not macro. Let's see whether we have the question on the screen. The one with the most, it starts with, is there a danger of falling standards? Can you just flag that out? Yeah. So that's the question. Is there a danger of falling standards for seafarer safety and well-being with the over-focus on digitalization, technology? And the more we bring in, the more administrative tasks is therefore a challenge on falling standards for seafarer. And you can add on the last part of it if you want to, but I think the first part is the crux of that question.
I think whoever asked this question is really straight to the point. And I think this is one of the biggest concern by a lot of organizations. Is there a falling standard? The more you use technology, does it mean that you are taking the human out of the loop? But I guess the future is actually going to be seafarer with technology versus seafarer without technology. So I think if you look at the well-being of the seafarer, I think the seafarer with technology will have a better well-being overall. Why I say so is because traditionally there's a lot of heavy loads on any seafarer that is out there handling multitask. Just like what Captain Cheong said earlier on. I have friends who are seafarer, and they told me, they said that you multitask in shore and the multitask on the ships is very different. They say in the shore you can just say, okay, I take a break. But when the vessel is moving, there's no break, you know. You continue to multitask. And therefore, I think it is very important for us to right now also look at technology very carefully. We should not be afraid to say this technology works for seafarer, that technology doesn't work for now. And I think having that ability to differentiate is going to be very important. I give you an example. I think AI, right now, who hasn't tried ChatGPT or Copilot here? Anybody? Don't be shy, okay? If you haven't done it, I will walk to you later quietly. Okay, so it's the same. You know, you will be afraid of trying it when it is new, but eventually when you start using it, you will realize that it is going to help you. And I think likewise for digitalization and technology, that is going to be gradually, as what Captain Cheong said, shifted to the vessel. It will not be fully autonomous, but at least it's going to have more unmanned functions. And I think we have to embrace that. So this is what I have to add.
Thank you. Anyone want to add on about this particular question?
Just a very short input into it. So basically, digitalization and technology, I fully agree. I think we should take baby step into it. And why do I say that is because if I take a quote out from the very recent, the Seafarers Happiness Index, one of it says that all our time is eaten by administration work. So it's not enjoyable or interesting. Together with the physical work, it creates the perfect storm of stress. So basically, if you look at this line, I do think that we really need to take steps to venture into how do we use technology to help our seafarers out here.
Thank you. You want to add on anything? No? Okay. I have a poll question. I got one more question I want to take on here, see if we have time. But let's bring poll number one, and that's related, some of you have taken it, it's related to the systems in place, a culture putting in systems in place, and that's called Be Safe. That's the question. Let me see how many people. Okay. What I want to notice on this is, you notice on the extreme left, it starts with 75. And it's got the most vote here. What if I put 60? I think that could have the most vote. So I'm not sure, Kenneth, whether the answer was taking, I choose the one the least, sure, right one. And by the way, the answer is?
75%.
75%. So that's low because, can you show me the relationship? Why is that having Be Safe important? What's that relationship to really safety, well-being?
Yeah. So I think all of us agree that, if you want to build a culture, of course, you start off with people. But what else are the other three legs? Structure, right? Leadership and communication. So without the other three, it's not going to work. So it is actually providing that structure. That's why the Be Safe program started by MOM in 2007 has precisely that objectives. And since 2007, so it's been a long time, it's been a long time. So therefore, and the Be Safe is a progressive model. So it's not like you have Be Safe or you don't have Be Safe. So you can start off by level 1, 2, 3, 4, and then eventually you get Be Safe Star. So how does it start? Very easy. The entry barrier is so low that I think all of us here can do it. To be Safe, you just need to attend, senior executive in a company, just attend a half-day training. So you're aware of your obligation, WSH policy, you are Be Safe. But I think what is important is that progression, right? Because if you move to 3, I jump to 3 first, because at 3, you must start to actually look at high-risk activity. All the risk activity, you have to do a risk assessment. You have to have the risk management system. And what more is important is that no point own self, check own self, right? So you have risk assessment, you have the system in place, you get an independent auditor to come and look at your safety management system. So that's Be Safe 3. So 75%. So, but if you ask me very honestly, right, of course, ideally we say 100% should be Be Safe 3 minimum, right? Because Be Safe 1 is almost no entry barrier, right? Just attend a 3 hours training and then you are Be Safe already. So I think we still have a lot of work to do. And that's why my colleague in WSH, in fact, they are seated right in the middle of the table. Maybe you all raise hands so that all of them can go to you later.
Okay, just go to them and say, I'm interested.
Yes,
okay?
That's right.
Yeah, what do I do next?
Yeah, so this is something that I thought is very important. And just to let you know, the Be Safe Star, that is when you actually achieve a Singapore standard and an ISO standard pertaining to company safety management system. So that's even higher level, not just auditing, but you actually meet the international standards. And I hope that, and to tell honestly, we have company that has attained Be Safe Star. So that they are subjecting themselves to international standard. And why are they doing it? Because they're dealing with international contracts. They have to meet their requirement in order. So therefore, Be Safe actually not just build internal capability, it also help company to be more competitive. But eventually, I still come back to people. It makes the workplace safe for your people. People will feel safe coming to work and work efficiently every day. And I think that's the bottom line. Yeah.
Thank you. If you want a tick in the box, yeah, Be Safe 3. But don't make it a tick in the box because someone said, get business, Be Safe 3. If you really, your last point is really for the safety of people, your structure, your systems, why just get a tick in the box with Be Safe 3? Really, really, really think about this. Star is your guarantee to safety in a way. It starts with that. So I'm pushing more, right? I'm hungry, and I think for our people, it is personal. You have your stories, I have my stories, we all have stories. That star is perhaps the way to just watch our system. So this is my call, and see how it goes. We are running out of time. What I'm going to do is, can you show the questions? Because, after this, the conversation goes to the tables, which is why we reorganize you. So take a look at these questions, and you have it still in Pigeonhole, and that can be primer to your conversation at your table. Can we just show the questions as we, yeah, those are the questions. So just take a look at it. You have it on your mobile, and I'm not going to ask, I can't have time to ask any of these questions. But I want to close by asking, probably from Kenneth right down, personal wish about safety, welfare, well-being of our seafarers.
So I will probably focus on welfare. I know that traditionally only the captains and probably the chief engineer will have their spouses, able to go with them on board a vessel. And I feel that part of the element ultimately is family. Family is the basic building block of society. And I think for our shipping community is equally important. So therefore, I hope that maybe the seafaring community can perhaps look at not all, but increasing that numbers of people, the spouses that can actually go, in part of the journey, perhaps not all due to safety and also capacity, but really let them feel that they are not totally isolated from their family. I thought that is a very important point, my wish list. Yeah.
Thank you. Kelvin.
Yeah, my wish is I wish the maritime industry, all stakeholders can work together, looking at the crew training. Let's see, we have a lot of access to information, but where the crew doesn't have. So I hope that we can have a lot of sessions similar to this, or some other means that we can transfer this kind of knowledge or experience to our crew. So that they can improve their safety practices on the ship or understanding of what's happening in the world. Yeah.
Thank you. Get it out from the conference room and get it onto the ground. Train them.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, my wish list will be for everyone here to have a habit and a mindset of constantly doing what is right by our seafarers, making sure they have their right respect, making sure that they have their right welfare. So in that case, then everything else will fall into place once you have the right mindset and the right habit. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, my wish, just simple. I do wish that to see more people join seafaring, because basically that show that the environment is getting friendlier, getting conducive, or even safer. So at least we can change our mindset, thinking that this is a better place to work, it's safe, and there's more savvy jobs to do. So, but today, if we still lock in this very traditional mindset, then I think it is very difficult. I'm afraid that the people joining sea will still continue to, decline. Thanks.
Thank you. So we have to close this, and my word to guys, all of you, is safety and well-being for our seafarers is our duty. It is our duty. And with that as a closing, let's throw it back to everybody on the table, and I'm going to probably say that it is your turn, but I will not say how it's done. I leave it to Carissa. But please, round of applause to the panelists, and thank you so much.
Thank you. An hour just flew by there with the conversation really going. And we're going to take a group photo as with all the panelists. So you can put your things down. And our official photographer will take you through, will position you for the shot. Thank you, gentlemen. What a great conversation. And just made me think, a yardstick question for us is, would we recommend our own sons and daughters to work in the workplace? Yeah, so I guess if you feel that your workplace is great and you would definitely recommend your kids, then I guess we're on a good trajectory, right? So that's it. We are going to be going on to another rather interactive, as Mr. Ishak had said earlier, the roundtable discussions. All hands on deck. Over to you guys. Okay, but so in this section, we're going to, it's going to be facilitated by Mr. Terence Ho, a member of the MPA Pleasure Craft Safety Work Group and a newly appointed SSVP volunteer as well. So wow, yeah, he's really stepping up, really leading by example. So, but that's it. Before we go into this segment, we're going to watch a very thoughtful video to kickstart this segment, shall we? Let's turn our attention to the screen.
Hello. Ada. My name Arun. I'm Yung Wei.
Dong Wei. For tipping, bid.
Make sure your safety equipment is in good working condition.
If you see anything unsafe, make sure you report to me or your supervisor, okay? I want everyone to be safe.
哎妈，我的几个哥们儿都挺照顾我的。嗯呐。
Hello, don't worry, we taking good care of your son.
Guys, football, 5 people, we join. Go. Ayun, wait, football, we join.
I can, yes.
Yeah, we join.
You cook? Yes.
Your dog getting better.
Hey, wait. Must stay safe.
Okay, thank you, Aaron.
Aaron, look, got cracks. I think now safe. Must report.
Arun, everything ready? Can start.
Okay, start work.
Okay, done.
Yong Wei,
Yes.
give me one tape.
Aaron, be careful. Sorry, 阿姨。Sorry. Aaron, look, got cracks. I think now safe. Must report.
You're right. Let's report.
Boss. Want to report problem, sir? This one not safe.
You can hear the pin drop. Wow. Was that a good video? Let's give the people who made it a round of applause. I've watched many videos, propaganda videos, if you would call it, in my life. Yeah, I'm only 28, you can tell. But when I watched this, and I also noticed some people in the room, the most poignant part, Yong Wei won. How many of you teared? How many of you teared? I teared. I was on a plane coming back from KL, and I saw this video because I had to prepare a script, right? I cried. I think the guys next to me were wondering, this fella go away for how long, man? Right? But it was a great video, right? Okay? And
Of course, the video you just watched was produced specially. I need to do the guangkao part, the koyok part. This year's National Workplace Safety and Health campaign launched on 20th April. This year's campaign continues the theme of reporting saves lives. So we seek to sustain the momentum from Singapore's good performance in 2023 by deepening the culture of workplace safety and health excellence among even more companies. So you can strengthen your WSH culture by having an internal reporting framework where all employees look out for each other by reporting any unsafe situation that could potentially harm themselves or their colleagues. So we hope that everyone will make staying safe at the workplace your utmost priority. So please, please, please follow safe work procedures and report any unsafe conditions at your workplace. So do visit the campaign microsite, I think it's, okay, or the QR code. It's called www.taketimetottakecare.sg. One word, taketimetottakecare.sg, to learn how you can play your part in keeping our workplace safe. And of course, download the campaign collaterals. You can print out and put them in your office. Thank you for your attention. Okay? Everyone okay? Anybody need tissue? I have some in my pocket somewhere. All good? Okay. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Terence. I will be your facilitator for the rest of the afternoon. I have the unenviable task of standing between you and alcohol. Okay? Or basically go home. But, work with me and I can sort of guarantee it will be a lot of fun, okay? So, we had a great panel just now, right? Oh, let me get on stage so people can see. We had a great panel just now. We heard about how people was the center of everything. One takeaway I had was there are 3 Ps, right? What was the first P? Let me recap. We all worry about a process, right? We're all business owners. We worry about a process. We all have plants, right? We have machinery, we have equipment, we have hardware. But what's the P in the middle? The thing that keeps everything together? People, right? And that's why we are here now to talk about all hands on deck for people, okay? For our people, right? Okay, so that's what we are here for. And that's why we have changed the format a little bit. We have gotten the media out of the room. We wanted it to be a ground initiative. We wanted to hear how we care about our people from the people, okay? So very simple. So that's basically the work that you guys have to do for the rest of the hour. That obviously is going to be done through Pigeonhole. And to help you along, we also have table hosts. Can I invite I think there are about 17, 16 of you to stand up, just to be table hosts. Just the tables, just stand up. Yep. So every table in your proximity should have a table host. Yep. If you find yourself without anyone else, yeah, we've got them all over from industry. If your table doesn't have a table host, we will try to arrange some, or maybe try to find a table host near you. Okay. Yeah. Or there are too many here, so we're going to split. Some of you need to spread your talent a little bit. Okay. So we are ready. Okay. So the table hosts know what they have to do. Basically, we're gonna reflect on 2 questions. We will do question 1 first. And can I have the question? Can I have the question on the screen? Okay. Thank you. So we're going to talk about, will you use an industry-initiated open reporting system to share near misses to enhance safety at sea? Okay. And we want a yes/no answer. Very simple. More importantly, why? Why not? Okay. Will you use an industry-initiated open reporting system to report a near miss? What's a near miss? What's a near miss? Hey, come on. All of you, be safe 3, be safe 4, be safe 5, be safe star. What's a near miss? Livio, thank you very much.
An accident which might happen and so far you are able to change the course of the fate and say, no, it's not an accident, but a means.
Okay. Great. That's a very, very good textbook definition. Anyone over here caught it? No? No? Okay. Basically, a near miss is an accident. Okay? But what happened was there's no injury, there's no loss of anything, no property damage. So if I slip on this stage, right now there's a banana split, right? Whoa! Because I got great sense of balance, that's a near miss. Okay? That's a near miss. The beautiful thing about near miss, oh, sorry, Mr. Shah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, sometimes it didn't happen. Now you see the bolt on the wall. That's great. That's a near miss. But I'm trying to show you one example. Okay, so physical humor a bit. But the important thing about near misses is that the near miss and the accident, same factors. The same factors that cause the near miss will cause the accident. It's just luck that you didn't get injured, property didn't get damaged, nothing happened. Okay, so very clear. So we're going to talk about this in your tables. Share with your table host. We're going to talk about, will you use an industry-initiated open reporting system to report near misses? Okay, yes, why not? Very simple. Okay, we're going to spend the next 10 minutes to do this, and then your table host will capture all those details, we'll put it into the pigeonhole, and then we'll do a simple sum up after that. And then we'll go on to question 2. Okay? So table host, thank you very much. If your table doesn't have a table host, put up your hand. We'll get someone over to you. Later again. So of course we've already got some answers, so that's great. So of course, sometimes I need to provoke some thinking. So let me just be devil's advocate about this. Some people don't want to do it because it's not anonymous, right? Or if it's anonymous, there's no value, right? People get blamed. People get trust issues. So how can we fight against that, right? If you're talking about trust issues, anonymity. I mean, the safe answer is yes, it will benefit the society, but we have about 7 minutes more, and then I'll invite the table host to key in the feedback. I see many people have gone on to give us answers already by themselves. That's great. Thank you very much. All feedback is important. All feedback is important. I just request, if you are a table host and you're submitting an answer on behalf of your table, just annotate that somewhere in your answer so that we know it's a collective answer. Okay? It's what the table agrees or disagrees. Yep. Oh. Okay. Yes. There's a great level of buzz going around, so we're going to give you a little bit more time. Yep. If it's great, it'd be great if we can get a few more no's. Because then when we build the system, we can mitigate those no's, right? Okay, maybe the table host can start penning down the answers into the pigeonhole. Then we can all share it on stage in a while. Yeah. Okay, we'll summarize in the next 1 minute. 5 o'clock sharp, we will do that. In case you're all wondering who these table hosts are, just to share, they're all actually members of either the National Maritime Safety Council or the Pleasure Craft Safety Working Group. So you've got people who are really, really motivated and by safety. Okay, as the final answers start coming in, I think we can flash the answers on the screens. Thank you. I mean, overwhelmingly, everybody says, overwhelmingly, the answers are yes, right? So that's great. We're on the right track. But let's see the no's as well. Can we flash the answers on the screen? Thank you. Okay, great. Okay, so obviously, overwhelmingly yes. We have a consolidated answer, line number 3. Needs to be anonymous, not run by regulator. Okay, fear of repercussions, reason why it needs to be explained, action analysis needs to be done on the report so people see its use. Great. Okay. So we have a no. Sorry, it's a no and yes. It's a very well couched answer, right? Does anybody want to share a yes or no answer from your table? Something that you weren't able to type out. Hari? Okay, great. Let me get you, Mike. Mic test, 1, 2. Yes. Okay, everyone, this is Captain Hari. Everybody knows Hari.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, everyone. Still awake? Yeah, he's keeping us. He's doing a good job. So, just to let you all know, there were mixed views on our table. Very strong views opposing and for, but largely it was positive. But care should be taken that it shouldn't be duplicated with what company efforts are doing. So many of the tanker companies have their KPI under TMSA, and they are also got their foot on the pedal for that. And that should also be mindful that this system should not increase to the workload. So that was the anti. But if definitely it would be that if we can have the companies who have already got the system to plug into an industry support system overall, then it would contribute rather than duplicate the efforts. So that was it, but otherwise largely people see the benefit about how it kind of worked. But what Larry had said earlier in the panel, we should be mindful not to duplicate and increase the workloads.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Come, Hari, can I have the mic, please? No worries.
I'd like to share this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think we are from table 3. We have already put it up there. Okay, one thing we also discussed was about the question we raised, because everything is yes. But the idea is, how do you use technology which we have used, you know? Every shipping company needs ISM to declare near misses. But what if this near miss, which goes into a company portal, can be linked to various other platforms, you know? And the outcome can come in out there. Because all of us are looking at certain platforms, but all of us are not looking at most of the platforms. And by getting out to using technology to leverage this, we can reach out to all the platforms and reduces work, and we can share a lot.
Great, yes, thank you. So the overriding trend is don't increase the workload, don't duplicate work. Yeah, and so that you'll get your intended benefit. And of course, no repercussions. We need to balance that anonymity with responsibility in our own company cultures. Great, thank you very much. Anyone else? How about on this side of the room? Anyone? Oh, right at the back, great. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, hi, good evening. So our table, we were also unanimous in thinking that near misses should be reported and shared, so that the common objective should be to improve safety at the workplace. But at the same time, we have seen with various parts of the industry, once you start reporting too much and too often, you are actually penalized, and it goes against the entire system of reporting and sharing with the industry. So it makes you look like an inferior organization having too many near misses, too many accidents, and then that goes against the spirit of reporting openly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone? We have time for one more comment from the floor before we go to the next question. No? No one else? Okay, thank you very much. Again, all this feedback will be brought back to the Maritime Port Authority, of which I do not work for the MPA, yeah, just to clarify. So the way you all answer me is like, no. Yeah, I'm a freelancer. Okay, so we're going to move right along to question number 2. And this time, we're going to turn the tables a little bit, right? So if you read the language that is used, it's I. What can I do to make Maritime Singapore safer? Okay, and so in your groups, yeah, think about it. What can you yourself do? Yeah, we talked about open reporting. It was like all still fuzzy, hairy, good thing to have. System beyond me, the management, the company will do it. Yeah, but now the question is you. What can you personally do to make Maritime SG safer? You could be from the pleasure craft community. You could be from the resort ferry community. You could be from the harborcraft community. You could be oil and gas tanker. Doesn't matter. What can you personally do to make Maritime SG safer? Okay? The floor is yours. So for example, what can you do to encourage open reporting? What can you do to keep abreast of regulation changes? updates to the system. Okay? So it's a lot of introspection. Okay, some headers you can think of. How can I improve my education, my communication, my emergency preparedness, for example? How can I be proactively safe? Okay? How can I collaborate with people? Yep. What personal steps can you take? How can I mentor someone to be safer? How can I support him or her? Mm. One answer came up as have a safety mindset as a way of life. Wow, okay. That's tough. That's very tough. Especially when you drive, right? You like to text and drive. Doesn't work. Okay, we have 7 minutes to do this. Someone says work harder. That's great. Okay, we get everyone to wrap up your table discussion in the next 3 minutes. and then we'll give your host some time to key that in, because a lot of them are of a certain age where the handphone font can't get big enough. Okay, so we're getting a great variety of answers coming in. Thank you very much. Okay, so while your table hosts are consolidating, if you think you feel strongly enough about the subject, just put in another answer if you want. Yeah, you all have access to the pigeonhole. Do that as well. Okay, we'll just wait for the table answers to come in, and then we'll do a simple exercise after that. Okay, we'll do another minute for the answers to come in. In that minute, can I just request all the rest of you to go into your pigeonhole? Go into the pigeonhole. Look through all the answers for discussion 2, which talks about how do I make maritime Singapore safer. And can I request every one of you to choose 2 answers that you like and vote. Okay, only 2, please, only 2. So look through the whole myriad of answers, find 2 that resonate with you personally, and then vote. Okay? Ah, great. Okay. It's all coming in. Okay, so table hosts are still keying in some answers. Each of you have got 2 votes. Choose 2 answers that you like and vote for them, right? Okay, and then we'll do a short wrap up in a while. Okay, we got some very popular answers, so that's great. Another minute, and then we'll flash the answers up on the screens. Now, you know, the vibe I'm getting from the room really makes me want to contribute as well. So just to share what I'm personally doing to make Maritime SG safer. I'm a PPCDR instructor, right? So I always make it a point to only send people I think who are ready, who will not run into me when I'm out there, right, for the assessment, right? So I always make sure that the people that go are ready. If they're not ready, I tell them, my friend, you need to come back for a couple more lessons. Yeah, so that's what I'm personally doing to make sure Maritime SG is safer. Okay, great. Can we have the answers up on the stage? Sorry, on the screens, please. Okay, and of course, let's look at the popular ones. Yeah. So keep reminding each other of the needs of maritime safety. Sorry. Keep reminding each other of the needs for maritime safety that's beneficial to each other. Just telling everyone why safety is important. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Make BizSafe standardization mandatory. Yeah. I think maybe. Yeah. More direct opinions and commitment for seafarers. Conversations going directly. Great. Okay. Gamification. Wow. Okay. That's a teenage word if I ever heard one. Okay. Sorry. Get more supporting organizations like unions, charities, organizations to participate. Great. Work harder. Sorry, who's Uja? Uya. Is that J as a Y or H or a J? Uya. What's work harder? The mic is here. You want to explain what's work harder? And of course, all the 5 other people that voted. Yeah. So it's not only Uya. I think the MPA is looking for new people. So the people that want to work harder, you've got a job there. Okay, we're going to open up to the floor. We're going to invite anyone to share your comments. Oh, great. Thank you, sir. Maybe just introduce yourself as well.
Yeah, thanks. Ashok Srinivasan from BIMCO. So in this table, what we spoke about was each of us are doing something different in each of their organization or in their role. So what would we do in that role? So we spoke about somebody taking safety culture, going down to each and every employee and emphasizing safety in their role. And then someone works with the charterers. Charterers are not, they are more commercially oriented than safety. So educate them about safety on what's happening on the ship. So that way we increase the safety. We also practice what we say. So basically brand ambassadors of safety. In other words, stop an unsafe act anytime you see it. And not just in the maritime sphere, but suppose you're going down the road and you see somebody crossing on the red light, then stop them immediately. And then basically abide by the rules. If you simply abide by the rules, you're taking safety a lot farther. So that's what we discussed here.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else wants to share the table's perspective or your personal point of view? Yeah. Oh, Teng Han, come.
Okay, I believe everybody here knows how to wear a life jacket. Okay, my personal suggestion is that we have ferries. We go to Batam, we go to Bintan, we go to Ubin. So let's educate the general public how to wear a life jacket. And if you think you have the time and you know how to explain how to launch a life raft. Yes, make the general public know what is safety, a personal one or just the people beside you. So if somebody is unfortunate enough to get into a maritime accident with you, hopefully it won't happen, but at least they are still a little bit fortunate that you know how to launch a life raft, or somebody that has been taught by you how to launch a life raft or how to wear a life jacket properly. Because sometimes in times of panic, nobody remember how to wear a life jacket, even though they just watch a safety video. So if I'm not sure if there's any ferry operators here, maybe in a state they can make the life
Should be, yeah.
jacket accessible, and
There
then
should be some ferry operators, yeah.
yeah, so we can let the people wear it if we have time. Of course, we hope they don't spill their coffee on your life jacket, but I think it's good if everybody, general public in Singapore, knows how to throw a life buoy properly or how to wear a life jacket. It helps maritime safety in general, so that when we are on a ferry, we are safer.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a great thing. I'm going to use that in my next icebreaker, right? When I'm in a table of strangers, I will ask, do you know how to wear a life jacket? I think that will make me very popular. Thank you. It's surprising because guess what? Singapore is an island. Yeah? You all know that, right? But Singapore is an island. Interesting fact, per capita, guess what? We have the most number of swimming pools in the world. Yeah? Other people are swimming in rivers, or what you call river, right? You will know, we will call it in Singapore a drain, but they're very happy with that. But we Singaporeans, yeah, swimming is a luxury. Must swim in swimming pool. Yeah, we take the sea for granted. So great. I think life jackets, life rafts, perfect dinner conversations. I will try that tonight during my cocktail dinner and then see what happens. Okay, I'll give you. Great. Anyone else before we wrap up this very interactive session? Anyone else? Something you want to throw off your chest? Yes, sir. Come. Oh, okay. Hi, sir. Just introduce yourself first so that everyone knows who you are. Thank you.
I am Captain Lee. I'm one of the committee members. So I think this is, there are many bosses here, sitting here today. Some are from the operations, some are from the commercial. So actually this is really important because commercial pressure plays before safety concerns. Familiar? So even the Dali, I talked to the owners, they don't want to talk about this. Because container ship, there's a lot of pressure from the commercial to make the ETA. So when you start to try to make your ETA, generator not working, you keep your fingers crossed, maybe the last generator may bring you outside to open sea. So I think it's so important that when we go back to our respective organization, Mr. Lim knows in my last organization, this is really something that we managed to turn it around to get the owners, the CEOs, everyone to understand. Seafarers has got 24 hours only, right? So you want to make your passage, your voyage safer, you must make sure that they have enough rest, right? Welfare is good, you take good care of them. And there's one term that is being used on the ship management. We are always the cost center because we are the ones who spend money. The commercial guys are the profit center, right? So as a CEO, who is my favorite son? Is obviously the commercial, right? But you can't continue to run the company this way. It will give some time. So in my last organization, we managed to coin the fleet operation team as what we call the value creation center. Because if the seafarers can run your ship safely, your customer, your Exxon, your Shell will be happy with your performance, and then you can make more money, right? So I think when we go back to our organizations, make sure that this message is being shared and put across to owners and senior managers. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's called Value Creation Center. Okay, great. Permission to use that freely. Okay, great. Value Creation Center. Okay, come. Yes, ma'am.
We are actually keep reminding each other the needs for maritime safety.
Okay.
All right. It's very important. And just now, everyone who has stand up has just remind each other of the safety. But look, maritime safety is not just people, but also technology that will affect people. It can be a cyber, it can be technology, it can be even the process. So we must always look into all angles when it comes to maritime Singapore safety. Okay, and it can also be the different stakeholders. It can be the authority, safety that authority need to take care. It can be shipping company. It can be a seafarer. But different people have different needs. How can we address safety, or when they come to Singapore, how can we address their concern? Like for example, COVID situation. Do we know that by locking the seafarers in the ship actually make them very anxiety, very stressful, and that is the safety of the human being. Okay, so this is something that we need to when we consider is people, process, technology. These three must always take into consideration. Okay, and it's not just me, it's not just you, it's every one of us. When we see each other, remember it's safety. Okay, sometimes people say, are you over exaggerate? Are you over like kanjiong in Hokkien? Means, but I think it's important because sometimes we outside our mind, we just remind each other. That's all. Okay, it can be a little bit of kepo, but kepo save a life.
Yes.
Okay, that is important. That's my view. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, we have time for one last question before we wrap up. Return the question. One last comment before I do the mandatory Wi-Fi. I have to put my portfolio. Okay, everyone here, smile. Okay, and I hope this works. This way also. Yeah, my kids tell me this is the new way to take photos. So, not bad, not bad. Okay, okay. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being a very engaging participants. It just leaves me to invite again Mr. Ishak Ismail, Chairman of the NMSC, to give us a closing address. Thank you, sir.
Which mic is on? Yeah, this mic is on. Okay, then I can keep this. Can I put this on the table? Thank you, Terence. Thank you, everybody, for the last bit of stepping up, having a conversation. So therefore, I start with first this point that was raised earlier. Hey, how come on the panel, all men, all men? So I thought, yeah, there are ladies here and they're contributing. So perhaps the next year, we're going to start having the power women on this panel too, right? Okay, that's something that we're going to look at it, right? We're going to look at it. And they are here. They are here. I want to say that they're actually the power women that really made all this happen. Okay, if you know Regina, Shane, Deborah. Okay, I've got two new ladies who are interns, Yu Tiong and Constant, and Benny. Really give them a round of applause for anchoring this. Our power ladies, and of course working with Vince and team and really getting this together, because it's not easy to run a conference like this, and they do it every year. And she asked me just now, everything okay, Isha? I said, Regina, you're never okay. You're always above that. It's always good and better, right? And that's my view. And thank you so much for this again, okay? So we spent a day. What are your takeaways? When we heard that at the last bit, what do I contribute? But there are many takeaways, because we don't do this because we want to take it off. We in the council, we at MPA say we want to do this because we're going to do a lot of work. Yes, we have. But I think the takeaway should also be you guys, which is why not just a topic, all hands on deck, but that last activity of what can I do is something you take away, right? And if you remember what MOS Murali said, there were three areas that we can take away, our three sectors. The government, they are still present in this room, the AKONG, and I would add in the council. I mean, we are volunteers in the council, but we work very closely with MPA. So yes, the government and the people like us who need to do lots of work, we continue to do that. And not just the council. When we say the council, just remember the council has 4 instruments that work really hard. The working groups that we have, right? Our SafeNav working group, our ferry working group, our Harbourcraft working group, our Pleasurecraft working group. And 3 of them are going to continue with their forums the rest of the week, and there's more work to be done. So yeah, the government. And what about the working groups? Why we have working groups? The second one was government, number 1. Number 2, industry. And that's where you guys are also there. Without the industry, nothing's going to happen. But it is for the industry, for Singapore, and we will make that work. What's the third one? MOS speech, government, industry. His third point was community. The community is for the seafarers, for the people involved, and that's why we do all these things for to be safe. So yes, it is value adding. It is really value adding because without that safety, nothing else about Maritime SG is going to work. In fact, it's going to be loss of confidence, a lot of actions that are not going to work. So take away from the government, take away from the industry, take away from the community. Can I ask you, as you stare at this, I'm going to ask one question. A couple of you here might know this famous, my popular question. How many people in this room? How many people are in this room? There are about 130. Not bad, no, we wanted 160 for the last bit. 130 is great, but that's not my answer. How many people do we represent as we sit in this room? What are your ripples beyond you in this room? There are 5,000 companies under Maritime SG. And I just asked Regina, how many people really are out there? 170,000. So there are not 130 people here. 5,000 companies we need to ripple across, 170,000 people that we're going to impact for safety. For the mindset we need to change, the work we need to do, and it's not hard work, but it's really value-adding work. So if you look at this thing, other than all hands on deck, do you see two logos that each one of us can say, yeah, that's me? Which is the first one? Every one of you can say, whenever you see this logo, that is also me. First one on the left, Safety at Sea. That is logo for every one of us. It is not Maritime Council. Maritime Council is National Maritime Safety Council. I wear this. That's the council, but that logo is every one of us. So you see that announcement, it says, do your part. That's one logo we all say. You see it? That's me, not them. That's me. Are we okay? Is there another logo here that belongs to all of us in this room? All of us. It is the one on the extreme right. So look at the two. Left, do my part, because we are all Maritime Singapore. That is another logo that is part of all of us. So that is us. So do your part for Maritime Singapore. And I end and I say thank you so much. We've got more work to do. This week we'll pan out with more forums. Partners are going to do co-located events. There's many more happening. We're going to get FEREX coming up on Thursday. We're going to have 3 forums, and we're going to have our responder program first time. So again, thank you to the organizers, and thank you to all of you. From the bottom of my heart, and for all the people we keep safe for, thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Appreciate you, Mr. Ismail, for that roundup, as well as Mr. Terence Ho. You know, I've done so many years before. Oh, selfie, ah. You want to take photo, ah? Okay. All right, gentlemen. How many of you really enjoyed this session? If you did, could you just give the 2 gentlemen a round of applause? And that applause is for you as well. Honestly, it's really for all of you who participated wholeheartedly, and I really felt that from the ground we could feel the energy. You could start to see all the diversity and wisdom, actually, that's hidden among all of you here. So glad that we did that session. Oh, the other thing I want to say is that safety is beyond just the physical. There's also the emotional and mental, and that's what I felt today. Psychological safety, because you are able to speak your mind and share. So well done, guys. You've really embodied safety in this space. Now, we just want to take a moment, just another minute. We're going to scan a QR code. I'd like you to just put in a quick feedback for us. Did you enjoy this? Is this what you want more of? And then we can bring it back next year. So your feedback will always be considered, and we will take that into consideration for next year. A little music would be nice. Most of you have scanned in. I'm going to give you this few moments to do that. And I'm going to just ask for another slide to be put up. The slide for the reminder for those of you who have signed up for the upcoming events, like the Harbourcraft Safety Forum and the Pleasurecraft Safety Forum. So just a quick reminder on the time and venue, place. so you can take a picture and be reminded. There you go. So I figured it's a lot easier instead of me telling you all the details. You could snap a picture if you're signed up for Harborcraft or you've signed up for Pleasurecraft. These are your dates, time, and place. So be there or be square. And with that, I thought, we cannot complete this without doing something. Turn to your partners at your table and just give them a fist bump. It was really nice learning with you. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. And I just want to say it rounds off a really good session 3 as well. I hope that you enjoyed the conversations on stage, off stage. My name is Carissa Seed. It's a great pleasure and I wish you all a fantastic evening ahead. Thank you for joining us. See you next year.